Real estate. We're going to talk about real estate for 2023, the current real estate environment, right? So first of all, real estate nationally, it's good to compare those numbers, but it's better to focus on real estate regionally, in my opinion, because your real estate in California is different than the real estate in Nebraska. So it's good to know the national numbers, but it's probably better to just make sure you're comparing your local regional area, right? So I'm going to kind of break this up into 3 different categories today. If you're a first-time home buyer, if you are trying to step up and maybe get a larger home, and then also if you are in the retirement. So I'll throw some chapter links, possibly if this gets a little bit lengthy. So step 1, if you are trying to buy your first home, well, I am very sorry, because when I purchased my first home, I believe it was in 2007 when I bought my first home, and I got an interest rate of 6.875%, 6.75%, right around there. However, the difference between that interest rate and today is what, y'all? Prices and wages. You know, a lot of folks would argue that the cost of living, the cost of home ownership in many areas of the country has not kept pace with wages. And so when you stack this very recent 500 basis point hike or whatever that the Fed is doing, that's raised interest rates, right? So if you are a first-time home buyer, I am very sorry, because this is going to be more difficult for you than arguably maybe it was for someone like me when I was just getting started in 2007 with buying my first home. So you have to adapt to the surroundings that you have. You have to adapt and overcome. You have to adapt to what the current economic environment is when you are establishing yourself, establishing your life. Marco from Whiteboard Finance, if you're not following Marco, please go check him out. He is a super smart guy. Marco, Whiteboard Finance. I'll throw his channel down below. My point is this: if you are a first-time home buyer, you have to adapt, you have to overcome, and you have to recalibrate your expectations of either where you're going to live, how much home you're going to purchase, and then also, you know, what your career working environment might be, right? Because now there's a lot more working from home. So as you're thinking about real estate, you have to also think through, okay, well, where would my office be, or where would I work out of? Because you have to think about that as well. So that would be, I would say, first-time home buyer. If you are trying to get something a little bit bigger, if you are trying to upgrade your house, if you are trying to move across the country, if you are trying to readjust your cost of living or whatever, and you are trying to buy your second home, and you do not have to sell your first home, which is I think where a lot of people are right now, because of where a lot of folks bought homes over the last, 5 years, 7 years, where people got super ridiculously low affordable interest rates compared to our current environment. So I think there's a lot of folks out there that are in that situation. Kind of raising my hand, that's a little bit where we are at as well, right? I'm 40. We are trying to go a slightly larger home. We have a perfectly fine home now, but it'd be great to have a little bit more privacy for my daughters when they're going through middle school. So that's kind of the stage of life that we are in. So we are going to be asking ourselves this question of when do we move, if we move, and where do we move, right? Because that's kind of the stage of life that we are in, right? So if you're in that situation and you're able to live below your means, and you're able to find peace and you're able to find happiness where you live, then just be patient. Just be patient and take your time. And eventually something good will happen, right? There will be something that changes in the economy, or something will change in your life, and there'll be a sign, or the Lord will share something with you, and it'll be your time, right? But be patient and keep saving your cash. If you want to invest it, I don't know, that's up to your risk tolerance. We have all of ours in a high yield savings account, getting I think 4%. I could get it higher somewhere else, but whatever, 4%, that's fine with me. We don't want to invest this money, so we're perfectly happy keeping all that in cash. Now, topic number three, if you are in your late 50s, if you are in your early to mid 60s, and you are approaching this retirement, this next phase of your life, this retirement phase of your life, I would challenge you to find happiness, find the area of the country that you think you would be happy in. But when you make that pivot, try to purchase less home, because when you go from having a mortgage on your current home, and then you go and you purchase your retirement home, or at least your first retirement home, the goal I would encourage you towards, the path I would much rather encourage you to walk down, would be to sell your home and then to downsize and to pay cash. Pay cash for your retirement home, because at the end of the day, you want to lower your overhead and lower your expenses. during your retirement years. That's the whole point of paying off debt. That's the whole point of living below your means, is having more free cash flow to decide how you want to live your life, where you want to live your life, and the quality of life that you want to live. So, talk about real estate. Just wanted to share a few of those ideas with you. Again, if you're trying to buy your first home, my heart does go out to you because it's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard, and you're going to struggle through that. And I will be pushing and encouraging you through that, but do it smart, be patient, don't rush into something, and get your credit score lined up, and get your assets lined up, get your reserves lined up, learn about debt to income ratios. You're gonna be great. All right, guys, appreciate you. See you tomorrow.